In this video, I'll be interviewing David Spriggs, a student at Regent University. David, so I was wondering, what are some positive aspects of learning in this environment, and what are some challenges that you've faced while learning in this environment?
Yeah, so there's a lot of both. A couple of the more positive things, learning online is a lot more flexible than learning in a classroom. Like for example, if you're not learning in a classroom, you don't have to go to class every day at a certain time. You can go when it works for you, although in some cases it can work to meet online. But I've been in some online classes that it's basically just here is a lecture, watch it, and then respond to it. And that can be really helpful for students that are like working or doing something like that where they have other time commitments. And it also helps emphasize self-development a lot, which I think is really helpful moving into a professional world, because students are more motivated to be involved in their own learning rather than just showing up to class and sitting down and learning. You have to actively seek out what you're learning about.
That's a really good point.
And then there's a couple of studies actually that I've seen that say that it just can be more effective than in-person learning for some students, which is a really interesting idea. Specifically, like just younger students tend to be more interested in technology, and so just moving something online might make it more interesting for them. And then there's some interesting things like outdoor classrooms and things that I think can be really helpful, especially for younger students. That's not necessarily online, but it's an interesting implication that we've got from COVID. There are some things that make it a little harder though. Moving to online classes really hurts socialization. I work over the summers at a summer camp, and so I've really seen how this can affect kids. Because as soon as you start having like masks and everything and you need a social distance, it really hurts their ability to interact with each other. And then you have students that even online don't necessarily want to talk over each other, so they won't talk at all. And that makes it a lot more difficult. And then some things you just can't do online.
Yeah.
I had a science class where I was doing chemistry labs online, and that just doesn't work.
Yeah, it makes it a little hard.
Yeah. And so then when you're doing something like that online, then people just get behind and they stay behind because there's no real way to catch up.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much for letting me interview you.
No problem.